Alright, we're trying to figure this out. I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna try to kill this music so I can get it. I can concentrate. Alright, so we got the stream together there. What I've been doing is I've actually been, I have the thing to kill your background, but there was always artifacting because there was like so much stuff that it was like trying to cover. I put the green screen up behind that, so now it covers that too. But I can actually show you what it looks like without the green screen and without the background removal. It's just a green screen, right? So now I got that. So then it really, really actually very cleanly like covers it when I'm like doing my arms. You know what I mean? Like there's not artifacting. It's just kind of a baller. But yeah, we're about to launch this podcast. I'm really, really excited. I don't know why Stream Elements and everything else did not update properly, but hopefully we can get it. I wonder how many things I'm allowed to do with Restream. I wonder if I could do 3. If I can make Facebook also active. What's up, Mr. Rhymes? Thank you for being here for the very first of the podcast. You're the first chatter too. Sincerely appreciate you, fam. Legitimately, I'm actually taking everything I'm doing a lot more serious than I've done in the past. So, like, I'm actually on it now. Now every view, every like, every support matters more than ever before because it's just no longer like a passive thing. I'm doing it. It's a very intentional thing that I'm trying to do and trying to grow. You are second prod. Sincerely appreciate you, fam. Legit. I think it's gonna be interesting. Oh, you're gonna see the grind like it ain't like never before, like never before. I'm like everything is on the up though, man. I'm making so much progress. I found a team to help me with some stuff that I'm working on in real life. It's really really exciting. It's intimidating, but I genuinely believe I'm a win in the end, and it's I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I have not been sleeping though. I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all niggas. Like every night I go to sleep and it's the same dreams. I keep dreaming I'm in a courtroom. It's it's so nuts, bro. But ultimately, I'm telling you, I believe everything's gonna work out. It's supposed to work out. What's up, young desperado? One of the realists. Yeah, but I'll explain all that stuff in time. Prod, you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy. It's crazy. Literally every night. But I promise you it's gonna work out. God is good. Let me see how we link up. Let me see. I'm doing stream together. It's my first time doing it. Let me figure out how to make this work. It's time, my guy. Yo, we got 2 ADHD people working on the podcast. It's gonna be almost done with the React. Okay, that's good. And I hear what you're saying. I wasn't sure which way you wanted to go with it from now on. I'll start doing that. Bro, I'm gonna start doing a lot more React videos. You're gonna see. And I'll help you with a lot of them so then it won't all be on you. Yeah. Wait, the Kamala Lost video. Isn't that one already live? Yeah, prod. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's. I just got to keep y'all abreast. It's crazy. Again, I called only the people who were important to me. Sure. And there's been I realized it's like a number of people. It's like, hey, yeah. Like I would do everything individually though. Okay, let go. Next week it will be significantly more organized. This is our first one. It's kind of, the beginning. I want to say the word inaugural, but I don't think I know what inaugural means. So I'm not gonna say that.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, my guy?
Hey, what's good? It's great to hear from you. I'm getting my camera for you right now.
Okay, so we're doing camera here. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I'm gonna minimize this one. Hopefully,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
that
create any
one is.
problem.
Yeah, that window is only there just to get the share chat open, which I'm gonna do that for us right now. You're already live, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna,
Oh man, now it
mute.
might not work because My camera might trip because it was already active on OBS. So getting it to be active on Discord now, I think I need to restart.
So what you got to do there is you how to do this here. You would need to. Can you just enable virtual cam? Like in your OBS, there should be an option to like start virtual camera, and then you just tell Discord to pull the virtual camera, and then
All
you can
right,
just kind of give me that.
let's do that. Okay, but now my camera's frozen a little bit. Let me see if I can unfreeze it. I go properties here, deactivate, activate. I got to do it in video broadcast.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go here.
Remember, we've done this before, right? It's not our first time doing this.
Yeah, it's my first time doing stream together. I wasn't. That's why I wasn't sure about all of the, little minutia around this thing. But we're gonna get it. Okay, so I got that. So now we're gonna start virtual camera, and now I will go ahead and change this to OBS virtual camera. Boom, we should be good to go.
We're there. All right, we there. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll pop you out. I'll in here. All right, cool. And then you should see I sent you an invite in the share chat thing. If you have that window open, you should see an option to enable share chat, and there should be a pending invite from Trihex. I don't know if you.
Let me see.
In this window.
Performance issue resolved. Let me see. I mean, I see a thing that says start sharing chat. Are we already in? But I don't know where that would be. Where would the invite be?
It's gonna be somewhere in that window. I don't know. Like if you should see like start share chat. Click it and just have it enabled, and then you should be able to.
Okay, sharing chat is enabled, but I don't think we're in the same. It only has 1 out of 6 for the participation for the.
Yeah, you're right. Why? Well, you try inviting me then. How did I thought this correctly. Actually, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me see how to do that. I don't know how to invite people. I've never done the stream together thing. We're not in the same lobby, but
man, why is that not the case here?
See, Spanish, no. Wait, what's this? What's it popped up?
Sure, I'm seeing here. Literally, I'm seeing right here this like pending invite.
Okay, I think something just popped up for me that said that you were inviting me, but I'm not seeing it.
So if you're on that window, right, and you go to invite guests, you might see maybe it's like because I'm literally seeing it there, but I can try re-inviting you. But
let me see. Yeah, I see no pending or anything.
What? Okay, I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna remove it and do it again.
Okay, I'm gonna try to invite you as well. Let me see. Here we are.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, you try to invite me actually. Let me see if I
sent it. Did you receive it?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh wait. Yes.
It's telling me that I'm having a performance issue, and I don't know what that is. Ooh, the camera needs to be more centered.
Yeah, I don't. Oh man. I guess we'll have to try again next time. I guess 'cause I don't know. Because now I'm like.
Okay, hold on. Since my stream together is already live, I'm gonna end it.
Okay.
Thank you for hosting. Restart stream together. Let's see now. Okay. It's a brand new one. I'm gonna invite guests. I'm gonna find you. Trihex.
I mean, I'm explicitly seeing here awaiting we're awaiting your response.
Okay. Can you try to end it and restart it as well?
Sure. All right. There's now. All right. There's now no invites done.
I think
we're gonna do this again.
I'm gonna share my screen with you so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait, but then I don't want to share any details up from my screen.
Yeah. You don't have to. Well, I'm not showing it right now anyway.
Okay. Here we are. Look, I'm gonna go to screen number 2. Go live. Boom. All right, you have that screen. This is what I'm looking at. Is this what I'm supposed to be talking about? I mean, is this what we're
Ye-
supposed to be seeing?
Yeah. And then you go to the. I'm pointing at right now. Go to the invite guests, and
Yeah.
then you should see. Yeah, there should be like, okay, so I'm gonna invite you right now.
Oh, here we are.
Oh my God. Okay, and then how do you accept it?
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna add you to my favorite, but I don't. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. I can send this one. I'm gonna send it. Let's see if that works.
That did How do you accept the invite? That's kind of the question there. Oh no, look, you have start sharing chat not clicked on the right there.
Okay.
All right. All right,
Okay.
cool. And then from there, what's missing? What does this thing want right now?
Start a collab on their stream anytime.
Hmm.
Okay. Is it doing it? No, that's taking me to help. Okay. I think I need to go back to here. Or no. I'm gonna click this one, and then normally I think there's a way to do it here. Boom. If I click this, something went wrong. I'm gonna reload.
Is that how you do it? You got to do it from the. You don't even do it from this thing here. Seriously, that is so
I'm
weird.
pretty sure that's how I've seen it, but I don't know. It's still saying something
Well,
went wrong.
okay, you're seeing that now. Okay. Hmm.
Wait,
Let
knock
me
to.
let me.
Can you try to knock the way? See, you see how I'm doing this, where it says Trihex added you as a favor, knock to ask to collaborate. Can you try to click that same thing on my end?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna turn off my share chat thing. Okay, so you want me to go to your stream?
Like in the
And
same way how I'm doing, you know what I mean? You don't have to be in the
yeah.
stream, but just where you see the follow channels or whatever, you do it from
I
there.
mean, I don't even know if I can. Okay, I see what you're saying. Let me do that real quick then. Sorry, chat. I promise this is really cool if we can like get it figured out. But there's kind of like no way to really like prep for it. That pulls me up to
Oh, it says share chat started. I see that.
Wait, did?
It says
Okay.
that.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, it's done. We did it. All right. I don't even know I don't know how. There was something I clicked or something you clicked. I don't even know
I
actually.
have no idea. It's probably you probably just knocked.
All right, well, we're there now here. So see how now everyone has the extra badge and you can see the your chat and my chat are like together now and shit.
I think so. Let me see. Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah.
We got it.
Okay.
We got it.
Well,
But
we got it. I think you were right though. I think we were doing it from the wrong menu, which is kind of dumb. You gotta do it from like the regular like
yeah,
Twitch front viewer thing or whatever. It's kind of stupid, but
for sure.
whatever. We're there. Okay, you can you're still sharing your screen if you want to disable that. You can if you want to. It's up to you. It's whatever
Okay,
you want to do.
I'm going to right now. Um, yes, stop streaming. Okay, I think we should be good.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna all right. Next thing I'm gonna do now is if you want to just take a second. I don't have like an I'm gonna shit out an overlay real quick here. Forgive me, and then
Okay.
I'll be good to go. And I mean I'm about to like shit out one. I will not be taking long.
Okay.
And we'll have like a for real thing next time.
For sure. Even if we gotta commission somebody, we'll make sure we get it done.
Oh no, yeah. Uh, let me just.
Whatever you create, you just DM it to me on Discord, and I'll put it on mine as well.
Bro, I even, bro, you know what I'm about to do is so scuffed, bro. It ain't even
Right
like
now, I
a.
have nothing. I don't even know. So what am I supposed to just like pop out your camera, or how do I
I mean,
even?
bro, I'm my ish is so bad, bro. Hang on, I can't even like it's cringe. I don't even want to like whatever you're about to do is better than whatever I'm doing right now. I promise you.
I don't have nothing. So let me see if I do. Well, yeah, because I can't actually. Matter of fact, if I shorten my window, whatever I do to OBS, it's going to shorten it for you as well. I don't know how we're supposed to incorporate each other's cameras. It's only going to be my camera right now.
You Wait, what do you mean? So
Oh,
your OBS, like right now, so you're saying that if you switch your scenes right now in OBS,
yeah.
your
See,
camera would go away too?
yeah, because my camera is my
Oh
virtual
man.
camera, right?
Oh man, you're supposed to see what you were supposed to do is have two OBSs open, which you can do by the way, and then have like one be the virtual cam and have the other one be your regular stream. That way, yeah.
See, that makes all the sense, but that's why I was texting you. I've never done a stream together, so I have no
Well,
idea about
that's
any
not even
of
a
it.
that's not even a stream together thing. That's just podcasting 101. How have you done this before then? When we
I've
did
never.
the
Yeah, I just did my camera on the whatever the camera was. Like I
um
never did like
okay.
you know.
All right. Well, look, how many things, I mean, how many like tabs you have open? Like how much shit were you ready to like share today? You had like stuff ready to roll. I have like bro, I got like
Yeah, I got notes. I got it all. I'm ready to go.
well, I mean, do you want to take a second and kind of and fix that then, or like,
So what do
or
you
you
say?
want?
Open up a second tab of OBS, right?
Yeah.
Okay, OBS is already running. Launch anyway.
Yep.
We're gonna
Okay.
do it.
So
Yeah.
now you have two OBSs open. One is currently outputting a virtual cam, right? Which is what your Discord is currently giving me.
Okay.
But the problem right now is the second OBS open needs to be the one streaming to Twitch rather than the one you're using right now. So because you're already streaming on Twitch on the one you're currently virtual camming, you need to this is kind of complicated here. You would need to disable virtual cam and then change your scenes, like change like your preloaded scenes here.
Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Stop virtual camera.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'll go to the other stream and make that one my virtual camera.
Well, okay, so first, OBS is going to use your webcam for any scene that contains webcam right now. So you need to go to like scene collection and currently save your scenes. Does that make sense?
I think they're already saved.
Okay. Now on the OBS that is currently
Streaming.
not,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
the
not
one that is
streaming.
the one that you're the one that you're going to make your virtual cam, right? You're gonna take that one and you're gonna like go to like scene collection, new, make a whole new collection of scenes here, and add one object. You're adding your webcam source, period.
Art. I have one of those already.
Okay, cool, good. Like a private YouTube recording one here. All right. If done correctly, hopefully that one will pull the webcam.
Well, I don't. I don't think it is because it's
It's
because it,
currently being used. It's being used by the current OBS, right?
right.
Okay. So now, if your scenes are saved, the way you fix this is now you would go to your OBS that's currently live. I mean, this is going to be a lot to do in the live setting right now. But on your currently live streaming Twitch active OBS, go to scene collection and go and open up that temporary YouTube scene collection, the one where you only have the webcam, the one you just made.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to triple check to make sure that the scene collection was saved. So I just saved it in my downloads folder temporarily.
Okay.
I exported it,
Okay.
right? And so then that means no matter what, it won't be lost. I won't have to recreate it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what do I do on the current OBS, the one that's streaming?
On the Twitch outcasting one here now, you need to get rid of the webcam. You need to load this new scene collection that you just made on the second OBS, the one that has only one scene with just the webcam. Load that one up on the active one.
For webcam. Okay, let me do that. Okay, well, hold on 1 second. And
If done correctly, you should have only one scene with one object, being the webcam.
okay, 1 second. Cam, it'll be boom. Okay. Then that's it. It has that one scene. Although I won't. Okay, so now I'm gonna save that. You're saying, and export that
Yeah.
as well.
Save it as like a new thing, as a separate collection, real quick.
Okay. Just webcam. I'm gonna name it that. Make it clear.
Cool.
Okay. Now I'm going to import this one onto.
So if done correctly, right now you should have two OBSs open, one, and both of them have the same thing. The one scene with one webcam, but they're both not able to pull right now, whatever, right?
Okay.
Or what do you see right now?
Well, right now I'm going to my downloads folder to find it, and I'm looking for the just webcam, and that's what I'm gonna switch to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And we're gonna add it.
We're gonna add it. We're gonna load it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't doing that. Did it do it? Oh, it's import. Okay. I don't know if it did it. Scene collection. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Here we are. There we are. Okay, so now so I'm going back and I'm gonna be capturing. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is just the normal
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So I'm gonna
You're just
capture
gonna.
you. Well, for some reason, when I have this the stream together source thing, it doesn't do it. Just has a picture of your image. So I guess I should just probably just pop out the Discord. I
Oh no,
guess.
the stream together thing. Forget that. That was purely to get the share chat. That's all we cared about there. Like
Okay.
we're not doing a call on stream together. That shit sucks ass. It was purely for the share chat experience.
Okay. So then now I'm going to add uh the how. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So dude, you're a streamer now. We're out here. Look, all you're doing now is re-importing your existing scene collection that
Got
you had.
that. That's already there. Now what do I do?
Started there. Okay. So then now all you're trying to do now is you're just adding webcam. That's all it's missing, right? You have your scenes. You had your Marvel scene. You had your like when you're looking
Okay,
at like
and
a
to add the webcam, it would be a virtual camera, right? So it'd be video capture device. It wouldn't be add
yeah
existing. It would be create new
right
video
yeah
capture
you would
device.
you go to add source video capture device and then when you tab down you're gonna see
OBS
you go to
virtual
create
camera.
new
Got
and you
it.
should see OBS. There you
But I
go.
think
There you go.
it froze as soon as I did that.
Yeah, I don't know why it froze.
Okay, we're gonna disable streamer mode. Let me
I
try to.
mean, how much RAM you got right now? You need to balance more RAM or something? Like,
I doubt that. My computer's pretty. I think it's pretty solid.
okay. Well,
Like
your
I
issue.
produce and all that on this computer.
Mm,
Let me try to disable it again and re-enable.
yeah, delete the
Oh, I
source.
know why. It's because it's because it's trying to capture the source. I mean, because it's trying to stream to the OBS. Let me
Hmm?
try. It's trying to stream the camera. It's trying to use the camera again.
Oh, did you add the webcam? No, you need to add specifically. The source is not called,
No, no, no,
Logitech
no.
webcam,
I
whatever.
I added the I added the OBS virtual camera, but there's scenes within this thing that still have the old webcam. So I think it's trying to capture that again. This is
Oh,
frustrating.
hmm.
Okay, we're back. We have it.
That's funny because I don't have that issue right now.
I'm going to shrink this. I'm adding my
You
camera.
well look,
I'm going to
you
capture
could
you. I think I got it. I think I got it. Here we
okay.
are.
Let's say you could just make like a temporary like this one, just like this attempt here, this one little thing here, and then we can have everything prepared like next week way more if you want to keep going with
For
it.
sure. Hold on. I think it would be a window capture. That's it. No, I misclicked. Okay, we're gonna do a window capture. I'm pretty sure I got it. I'm gonna do add existing. It'll be Discord pop out. I'll change the Discord pop out properties to this one. No, not this one. This one. Got it. Shrink this one. I don't have. I won't have an overlay, but it's fine. All right. There we go. That's as good as we're gonna get for now. We'll end up creating another one. Jeez, that was crazy.
Hey, you did it though. You did it, bro.
Yeah.
It'll and right now I'm just throwing up this thing right here real quick. That overlay shit. All your
And someone said my YouTube has no sound, and I don't understand that.
all right, 1 second, chat. This is this is the painful upstart here, but maybe it's the content y'all enjoy, you know.
Yeah. Never. 2, 3. Is this? Oh, this is just your stream. Okay, that's why. All right, now we can go here. We can go to the YouTube. And someone said the YouTube had no sound. Wait, hold on. Do you still not have sound? You reload. Better. Okay, it should be good. Test, test, test. Wait. All right, we're good. Everything should be solid on my end. I just don't have an overlay, but that's fine. We'll get to that later.
Bro, my overlay is literally a picture of butter pecan ice cream in the corner, bro. This is the real come up from nothing here. So I'm just throwing up. I'm throwing up the minimalist of shit right now. On God.
Right. Okay. Oh, now I gotta open up the tabs for my notes.
Get that.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can get a try hard in chat here, bro. This is like this is about to be the most like scuff shit in the world. But I'm excited to give it a shot and see what we can do. You feel me?
This is why I need 3 monitors again if I'm gonna do it this way.
Oh yeah, no, trust me. Yeah, the multi monitors definitely help here for sure.
Yeah, I have
For
2.
sure.
I've always had 3, but just when I relocated here, I never remounted my 3rd monitor in here, and it's like
Lethal.
this is hell.
Lethal.
Like this is awful. Hell, it might be of an overreach, but still, it's terrible.
Lethal.
I can say that. Wait, did it go away? No, no, okay, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
No.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay. Man.
I'm almost ready. I'm fixing like one more thing here. That's when I get at least 2 scenes where I can do I can at least, you know.
How do I re-enable Discord streamer mode in Discord after I've disabled it?
How do you re-enable what again?
Re-enable streamer mode in Discord after you've disabled it.
You're gonna go to the cogwheel and go to settings, and then you're gonna go down. It's its own separate option in settings.
Streamer mode,
It'll
gotcha.
say streamer. It'll say streamer mode.
Boom. I needed to be silent so it doesn't like disrupt our audio.
Oh, for sure. No, it's kind of dumb because you think it'd be like a subcategory, but it's actually its own category, which is a bit off.
Yeah. Okay, we got to get cooking.
Hey, I'm almost there. I'm one thing away from giving you what you need.
Turn off my phone too.
You will have my hyper undivided attention in like 40 seconds. I'm actually doing the last thing. Again, it was gonna be a little bit some pain here with the upstart because we had to kind of get the All right, cool. All right, yeah. With that, I am ready, bro.
Okay.
Hit me with hit me with whatever you got now, bro. I'm in here.
It was on me. All right. I didn't. You know what
Let
I
me get, let me
mean?
get
We got it. We got
All
it.
right, so
Don't tell me I closed this. Don't save that one. Ah, here we go. Wait, no. I'm upset, but it's all right. We got it. We got it. We got it. I think preparation is kind of key, but we're coordinating, so we're going to get better at this. I promise you. So,
for sure.
this is the launch of Butter Pecan, which is an amazing podcast between myself and Trihex. We will be covering various issues. Obviously, everyone knows what's on our brain today, but I think that we have a lot of conversations between the two of us. I love the way this man thinks. We tend to have really, really great conversations offline very frequently. And I've constantly said to him on various occasions, I wish some of these were recorded because we really do have very wholesome, very enlightening, very inspiring conversations, sometimes very vulnerable conversations, which some of those I'm glad aren't recorded. But in any case, this is the launch of our podcast where we will be discussing, as I said, political issues, social issues, viral moments. Sometimes we'll just have fun. Eventually, we would like to probably include some interviews. We'll be looking towards you, the audience, to inform us on some things that you would like us to talk about. We will be taking feedback, and we will improve every week. You can mark my words on that. Um, so, with that being said, I think what we're going to be talking about is the election results. But I think first, it would probably make sense for us to kind of give you a piece of who we are. So, I'm going to start with an introduction to myself. My name is Fanatiq. Also go by Mr. Fanatiq on most of my platforms. I'm a conservative progressive. That means that I am socially conservative, and some would say, but I'm very progressive economically. I'm a biblical fundamentalist, meaning I was raised in the Bible, study the Bible, live the Bible, know the Bible, read the Bible regularly. That is one of my guiding forces that sort of determines my outlook, my social outlook, my political outlook in various ways. I'm very liberal in the sense that I very much believe in everyone's ability to be free and to live to their own, to what they believe, to exercise their faith or lack thereof as they choose to. I don't believe that there's any compulsion in trying to force people to live as I live. With that being said, I've never really voted for a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not either of those. I kind of stay out. I just stand in the middle on various issues. But as I said, I'm very progressive. Um, I mean, a little bit of history. I'm a gamer. I played fighting games professionally for quite some time. I used to play music games at an extremely high level, particularly Beatmania, Dance Dance Revolution at some points, and then Stepmania and DWI, aka Dance with Intensity, which is like an online keyboard version of Dance Dance Revolution at extremely high levels. And I switched to fighting games. I have world records in fighting games. I have one of the highest records for money matches in the history of fighting games and have the record for the biggest money match of all time for a fighting game. I was a professional fighting game for several years, ran one of the cleanest brand advocacies for fighting games under the PDP team, AGE, Afterglow Elite. I'm pretty sure some of you guys are familiar. Um,
Code AGE for 20% off.
that's absolutely right. I guess that's really it. And really, I'm a musician, right? Now, that's probably one of the most important things that I've always really considered one of the strongest parts of my identity, even though it's not something that's as apparent because you need context. I release music, I produce music, I write music, and it has been one of the defining features of my life, since before I can even remember. I have several albums out. You can check those things out. So, music, politics, gaming, all of it. I just do it all. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to incorporate all of that into our discussions. And that's me.
Wow. Yeah, you went crazy. I haven't even spoke yet actually here. So, what's up, everyone? I'm the other component here to Butter Pecan Podcast, a name that we'll have to at some point here choose to explain what that means, but I'll save that for when a less action-packed episode, I suppose. Yeah, I thought it was a good idea to do some introductions here to kind of give a bit of context to both of our audience, respectively, to understand like who we are and where we're coming from. And I'll be eager to elaborate on that in later time when we get a chance. But just to kind of like get things underway here, I'll introduce. Y'all might know me. I'm Trihex. I'm the face of your favorite global emote, probably also the most banned emote on Twitch. Try hard. An emote that depicts a black person and has been used for the insistent and rampant dog whistling continuously, to where whenever I became the emote, I wasn't aware I was going to be also the avatar of anti-racism throughout Twitch. But that's kind of what I didn't know I signed up for then, and here I am now. I would describe myself as I mean, if we can go, given where we are now with the election, I feel like I can go a little bit more mask off now and kind of say here that I would describe myself as a black revolutionary or a black revolutionist. But I'm grounded in the practicality for implementation for a better tomorrow. So when I say that, it sounds like a really heavy term. I promise you, it means that by necessity, I'm looking out for the betterment of everyone involved, and especially blacks as well, being uplifted as well here. I'm an advocate for social democracy, um, which I want to elevate everyone through explicit populist policy that is concise and comprehensible for the modern mass audience in America. And then finally here, my relationship to politics, which is probably going to be a pretty prevalent thing we're going to have to get into because everything is inherently political in our world, especially even just being black altogether is inherently political. So I live in Louisiana, which is like the actual worst rated state in USA by a pretty prevalent survey that includes several metrics here. I live in Louisiana, which is like the bottom 50th for education. It is like the bottom three for health. So like low on information, high on obesity, um, bad on poverty, bad in the environment because of the offshore drilling, because of the continuous destruction of our environment. Living in Louisiana and having been here since I was like 11 years old means I'm pretty exposed and I'm uniquely qualified to brief everyone on exactly what it means to be the most vulnerable, most poor, most ignorant, and most um, just outnumbered by a competing demographic politically. I'm no stranger to the black experience and understand the combination of like Jim Crow, gerrymandering, redlining, and critical race theory are all at full operation for continuous, intertwined societal oppression for everyone, and especially black people. So I'm going to be bringing all of that to the table here with the podcast and do my best there. And I'll be happy to elaborate on my gamer flexing for another episode, actually. I don't want to make it too long here, so.
And that was pretty short. I needed to hear the game and flex. I mean, I thought maybe we might hear about, I don't know, a person coming out of retirement, playing a game, setting world records after 2 weeks. I don't know. Maybe somebody needed to hear that.
I'm gonna hit that when we have more time. We have a lot to get to today. If you want these topics you threw in here, bro, I got some yapping to do, man. We got a lot to get to here.
That's 100% fair. Okay, so with that being said, topic 1 would be about the election results. I wish that this podcast was on a Wednesday. Wait, is today Wednesday? No, today is Thursday. Because then we would be able to do it, or the, if it was on the if the election night was a Tuesday, so that we could, do the about last night thing. But anyway, so the election, obviously it happened. There was a lot of disappointment. I think exit polls clearly demonstrate that both sides are very afraid of the opposing candidate. So I understand that means that there's a significant amount of tension. It can't not be intense when you have Donald Trump as the president. That's a double negative there with Donald Trump as the president. So obviously Kamala lost, got obliterated, I would say, because it wasn't just that it was like an electoral college win. She gave Trump his first popular vote win. There was an obvious lack of support and showing up by Democrat voters. It's just by number of raw votes. So I think I would like to start by just saying I personally clearly see Donald Trump as the absolute threat that he was. But I think what this turnout demonstrates is that most people weren't actually big fans of Kamala Harris. I think most people were just anti-fans of Donald Trump. And I think having a candidate that's just that's just better than your opponent sometimes isn't good enough, and I think the results showed that. And then we can get into it from there. Your
I
opening.
I can agree with that. I got plenty of notes here. So I wanted to first start with the quantities by demographic, because this is really really telling here. So 50% of the youth, the 18 to 30-year-old vote, supported Trump, which is a tremendous swing towards Trump compared to where we were in 2020. When you break down the electoral map here, you'll see here that there were a lot of states that were for Biden that got flipped. Well, I say a lot, but it's it's some explicitly swing states here, right? Given the electoral college here, you have your ones that are definitively purple versus the ones that have been like recently having a twinge of blue when otherwise usually red. But yeah, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona, I believe are the like 5 of the notorious swing states, and all of the I'm gonna assume all of them are gonna go to Trump, or it doesn't even matter anyway because he already got the 270 he needed to win regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, the youth vote swaying towards Trump. A lot of the population swayed more Republican, and this is the big one here. And the Latino voters, pretty much 50% of the voting populace there went towards Trump when it was and so it was about like I want to say like approximately 22 percentage points of Latinos swapped, not just for Trump. They abandoned previously Democratic Biden voting in 2020 for Trump.
Sure.
So,
We can
in terms of, okay, sorry, go ahead. What do
we
you got?
can delve into the Latino vote, because I think, even when you look at that, I think if you delve a little bit deeper and you see that there's a difference between gender within the Latino vote, and you find that it was males, that ended up kind of showing, Black Latino males that showed up for Trump, but Latino women, I believe it was 60% of them actually voted for Kamala. So it really just turned out that Latino men, the majority, 55%, ended up voting for President Trump. And I think that gender divide, I think, speaks to a lot. Obviously, abortion rights were like a humongous issue for a lot of people. But I, it just seems like that shows just a lack of cohesiveness. When we get to a point where something can be divided so starkly by gender, then it seems like almost like a selfish interest on both sides, right? Where obviously something that Trump is saying and something that Kamala is saying and that the Democrats are saying isn't resonating specifically with men, right? Because we do see a pretty, strong divide when it comes to just gender across the board. But abortion rights were obviously such a pivotal issue for women. And that seems to be exactly what Kamala ran on. So she ran on something that would resonate with women, but it feels to me, I would say that she kind of left everyone else out because her primary platform, the one thing that stood out the absolute most, was abortion.
While this is true, I don't know if I agree with what you're saying there, because then explain, if we're going to talk demographics here, white women overwhelmingly voted for Trump. So I'm not even sure if abortion was. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna pull up the stats here on that one, but like from what I recall, there was like I might have it in my tabs here actually, but like because I wasn't prepared to give you this talking point there, but like if what you're saying is true, that abortion was hammered home here and women came out overwhelmingly for Harris, then explain the white women that were voting for Trump.
When you say overwhelmingly, it was only 53%. 53% of the white women vote went to Trump.
I mean, does that still
the majority? I'll give you it's a majority. It can't be overwhelming because it's slightly above 50, but I mean for sure the majority of them did, and I think that wait, I'm sorry. Okay, wait, yeah, yes, there we go. Women in general, white women specifically, is 53%, and I think that speaks to the fact that, and I'm I'm sorry, we're gonna cook from the very beginning. Privilege outweighs all of the other things that we were talking about. And there is a privilege associated with whiteness to where I don't think that the Democrat Party needs to appeal to them in the same way. Because even when we look at things like, I don't know, we've talked about it before, the freaking affirmative action, and the largest the largest beneficiaries of affirmative action were white women, right? It was originally created, for us, and white women decided, oh, wait a minute, hold on. we're gonna jump the line and step in front of, as Bill Burr said. So I mean, the thing is, abortion rights mattered to them, but white women are have their white husbands, and they've stood alongside their white husbands as they as they have executed all of the privileges, and they've benefited from all of the privileges associated with white men. So I think the idea that white women would just completely deviate, I just don't actually find that to be like likely, because they've also been some of the perpetrators of some of the when you if you want to go as far back to slavery, if you want to talk about some of the discrimination practices and hiring practices, white women participate in that as well. And I think Trump is the emblem of white privilege. I mean, he's a felon president.
And they like that, actually. They like it. They like it. The optics are 100% all the way there. You're not wrong.
Yep.
Um, Literally just right down to racial divide. A black man as a felon, oh, that's a thug and not to be trusted. A white man with a felon, oh, he overcame the system and it was rigged anyway, and yada yada yada. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool take there. It's definitely rooted in racial perception and privilege.
Yeah. And I mean, we obviously know felons. It's not that people hate felons. It's not that the country hates felons or wants to denigrate felons. It's that they want to denigrate black people. They label them as felons as a code so that they can denigrate them. Because, I mean, there are studies that have demonstrated that a felony has a lower impact on a Caucasian person than being black does. Black non-felons have less callbacks on jobs than white felons. So black is a greater penalty than a felony. I don't think it's the felon issue. We got a felon president. Felonies were never the issue. It was the racism of the country.
Yeah, I can totally go with that. Yeah, I think that you're spitting there. I don't disagree with that.
I know we ain't supposed to come with the super hot takes from the beginning, bro, but I
No,
I want to go mask off, my dude.
No, I have a lot to go mask off on. I was letting you lead there with that one. Let's keep
Sure.
going then. So more on the demographics here, okay? So I'm still just going through like the stats.
Sure.
We have here 68 million votes for Harris versus 73 million for Trump so far, and that's with 95% of the vote accounted for. There's still a few things that are currently processing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up that one for us real quick. Give me 1 second here. So yeah, let me zoom out a little bit here on that one. Sorry. Yeah. So here we are with that right there. So our totals are looking right now like this. So you have 68 million for Harris, 73 million for Trump. And that's me rounding up there a little bit just to kind of just to include the fact that we're still waiting on Nevada and Arizona to finalize on their counts there. But obviously, Trump already has passed 270 electoral votes to go ahead and secure the win, irrelevant of the results from Arizona and Nevada at this point. And I wanted to include here some pretty big context. That would be compare this to 2020, where showing this map here now, where we're Biden comparatively decimated with a comfortable lead here, 306 electoral votes to 232. 81.2 million versus 74 million for Trump. And the question clearly would be here, what happened? But that's going to be like the next like subtopic we get into from this one here. And in the end here, though, what we can take away obviously is the fact that like Trump siphoned votes from Democrats, which is Trump overperforming, and Harris netted less support because there was just lower overall Democratic turnout. So she also underperformed. And that's despite the fact that I would say that Trump ran a comically awful campaign, which to me I would conclude here that Harris ran a comically, while his was awful, hers was incompetent. It was and there's a lot of reasons I have here to get into for why I think it didn't work. But any thoughts on that? There, the 2020 election versus 2024 election. 15 million votes less for Kamala versus Biden. Biden had 81.2 million. Kamala had whatever the number I said before here, 68.9 million. Yeah, it's approaching 12 million there. Less votes. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I would say that the Democrats for 3 terms now, right? For 3 election cycles have ran on better than Trump, because Hillary Clinton was very unlikable, clearly. Joe
Hmm.
Biden was very unlikable. The difference was, and his favorability clearly demonstrates that, Donald Trump represents such a threat that almost anyone comes off as better than him. And Democrats continue to believe that giving us anybody but Trump would be good enough. Kamala Harris was demonstrably, quantifiably unlikable. Her campaign, again, I had made a video very, very briefly, like very short time ago, that the main point of that video was that Kamala Harris never earned my vote. Donald Trump earned my vote against him. So what I'm finding, and this happened with Joe Biden, where do you remember the bumper stickers that said "Fine Biden, but this is BS"? Remember all of those bumper stickers where people were saying like, I guess fine Joe Biden, not I like Joe Biden. It was just this is we have no choice but this guy, but this sucks because you didn't want either of them, like right? It was
Right.
worse than the douche in the turd sandwich, and so Kamala Harris was worse than Joe Biden, had lower favorability than Joe Biden. So then, and she ran against Joe Biden and got obliterated. So they gave us one of the single most unlikable politicians with one of the most incompetent campaigns, and then we're just hoping it's not Trump, so it'll be good enough. I mean, in a nutshell, it seems like that's what they want. That's what they ran on, and better than Trump sometimes isn't enough to get people out of their seats. It's just not enough.
I completely agree. Let me go in further here and reiterate that if we go back to 2019, go back to the 2019 Democratic primary, if you remember whenever they all consolidated into Joe Biden,
Mhm.
you may remember that Kamala ran that race. She ran that race and she floundered. She was getting eaten alive. She was, but her debate performance was terrible.
Yep.
And she was losing to Pete Buttigieg. She was losing to Amy Klobuchar. She was losing to Bernie. And she was losing. I mean, she was barely keeping up with Joe Biden, who was like at the time, I recall, fifth place.
Right.
Biden was also doing terrible until primary started after the initial debate, and he was and he won South Carolina after losing Nevada and the Iowa caucus, and I forget what the other one was. Like the first three happened, Bernie destroyed all of them, and then he took one. He got one in South Carolina, and they all consolidated and confined. You know, Obama made that dark backroom call and just kind of out there. But notice
Yeah.
how by that point, before Super Tuesday 2020, Kamal was not even relevant there. She was already done. Like
Yeah.
not a competitive person there at all. And
If
then
I can
doing
just
a
say,
point. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
she got just really briefly, she got obliterated in the very first debate. As soon as Tulsi Gabbard went with those talking points about her record as a prosecutor, she was done. That
Yeah.
was it for her. But you continue.
Sorry, yeah. So then when Biden appointed her VP, let's not forget here that if we go back to like 2022, like just Kamala had been continuously an unpopular VP. Interview blunders and just like aside from the one PR moment where she made the tie breaking vote in the Senate for whichever thing it was, I don't remember exactly what it was here. It might have been like a COVID era relief thing. I
Sure.
don't remember, but she made the tie breaking vote in the Senate as VP.
Might have been the
But other than that,
CARES
I don't
Act.
recall.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't remember exactly here, but aside from that one moment as a publicity thing, I don't recall even from like the left. Honestly, I've never really seen any like positive coverage
Right.
of like it's always been like a very unpopular VP, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
So just like negative riz and negative like just political instinct, I would say altogether here. And when you combine all of that into where we are now, it's just yeah, the campaign, you didn't put your strongest candidate first. You didn't have the strongest message. And I have a lot of examples here to reinforce here for why it didn't work. But just to clarify, before we get to that point there, I did have here, like after the quantities of demographics that voted, what worked and what didn't work. So in the end, to answer that question, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia all flipped from Democrat to Republican. And that's really important to bring up here.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4 swing states flipped to Trump.
I'm fairly
When you
certain
already,
Arizona is too.
yeah, those are still pending right now. But yeah, even then, just having majority, having 4 of the 7 swing states, which again, because of our terrible electoral college system here, having it come down to mostly those generally, right? Having majority of the set of the swing states that convert to Republican, that's so much worse. That's like emphasize here of the swing states, majority of the swing states swing from Democrat too Republican.
Sure.
That is evidence that the campaign totally fucked up there all the way through,
Yeah.
unapologetically. So
Absolutely.
that's a big case of what worked and what didn't there.
Right.
And with that,
I mean, it clearly didn't work, and I think, man, there was, oh, it hurts, but she lost vote. I tend to look at race quite a bit just because of how much the Republicans actually centered the conversation around her blackness, which was absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe some people, idiots online, ate that up. But she lost popularity amongst Indian males. And what I discovered was that for the Indian voters, that one of the larger talking points is that they didn't like that she was identifying as a black woman. They felt that she identified with her blackness and abandoned her Indianness, and so that's why they wouldn't vote for her. That was an actual statement in some of the exit polls or in some interviews regarding them. It's absolutely absurd. Trump made double-digit gains with Indian males, and Kamala even lost some of the Indian women.
well, to be fair here, so it is true. Your racial identity is a liability in this country because we're so inherently racist. That's nothing new right there. But let's consider for a second here. How many people even view Obama as half white? He is half black, half white.
Sure.
But you ask a Republican, he's black. He's clearly black passing. So the condition here is that we're learning about racial liability when it comes to like being like biracial or like multiracial, because you won't see whites throw a hiss fit over, is Obama neglecting his half whiteness, because again, they're so inherently racist. They're just like, oh yeah, they just see him as all black. He's just black passing. Yeah, I don't want this. I don't even want to say what the shit I've heard on AM radio in Louisiana, but crazy. Bro, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a thing, I guess. Here, it's gonna be, if your race will be a liability, and you have to figure out what you want to roll with or not. But again, the thing here, though, I don't even think we have to worry about that right now here, because to even get caught up in identity politics is like doing a disservice to how bad that campaign ran.
Right.
I don't think it's because of racism or misogyny that resulted in Kamala losing.
Right.
These results here, and I have other results to reinforce here my theories. It's not those things here. No. That may be a factor for maybe like, I guess, like a hesitation to vote for her. But as you already alluded to, you said here there's an anti-incumbent vote active more so than a pro-Harris vote. And that goes back to the campaign, the messaging, and this really unique problem that the DNC's been fucking shitting up now for the last 3 elections. And it finally broke the well, and now we have to eat it all the way through.
Right. And just to be clear, that misogyny talking point was incredibly bothersome to me. And I think seeing the amount of black men that turned up for Kamala Harris, I think the whole narrative around, black men must be misogynistic, was absolutely absurd. Even at the time when they were making the statements, there were polls that clearly demonstrated 72% of black men had already indicated that they had support. So instead of us being heralded as the most progressive, the most like women-friendly voting bloc in the country, instead we were being tongue-lashed by Obama that we must be misogynistic for not supporting Kamala Harris, whom the vast majority, this is a case where we can use vast majority, 72% did. And then of course even more so when now in exit polls we see even more. There was literally only a 1 percentage point for black people between for black men specifically, between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. 1 percentage point. So this idea that there was some rampant misogyny is absolutely nonsense. And what it speaks to me is the continual effort by the Democrat Party to ignore the issues that we're actually focusing on. So you had Republicans centering the conversation about race, which I don't think most educated and intelligent black men cared about when it came to Kamala Harris. Her race was not important. And then you had the Democrat Party instead saying that it must be her gender, as opposed to ever focusing on the issues that actually concern people. I think race and gender were literally among the lowest issues that caused her to flounder when it came to the polls. But that tended to be the talking point, which is just their way of skirting around it and refusing to actually address the issues. I've never felt more unheard. I think our community has never been more unheard than in this instance.
No, it was terrible. The lack of a primary, the lack of vetting for a viable candidate, the comically undemocratic approach here, the lack of like eagerness to have a press round with podcasting or really any kind of like digital presence.
Can
It's
you
all here.
expound on the primary thing? Can you expound on that? I want to hear your
So
thoughts on that one.
okay, well, how it would normally work. I mean, this is kind of going to go into the next section and a half here is like, so far I've only brought up like broad arguments for, what happened and what didn't work. But now I would bring in like all the specifics that were misplaced, I would say here. But to answer your question about the primary, so if Joe Biden had agreed to actually run one term and didn't change his mind, at towards the end of his first term here, then there would have been a primary season to vet for a candidate. Also, the DNC wouldn't have been rigged towards his favor. They also had it to where the conventional Democratic primary would start with the Iowa caucus and then expand to again Nevada, Arizona, South Carolina, and then go into Super Tuesday where like 25 states all like have the Democratic Party do their closed primary and vote. You may recall that's how it worked in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernie was shitting on everyone until last minute they did the whole like, bloody Monday where Obama called everyone in and inconveniently Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and all the others completely exited the race to make it a Biden sweep versus Bernie,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera. So that didn't happen. There was no primary. There was no Super Tuesday. It was just, oh, okay, we're making South Carolina the first state to have their delegates vote, which conveniently is where he won in 2019, completely rigging it in his favor, just to get him over the finish line. And then like, yeah, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going ahead and we're just going to call it here. Yeah, Biden's our boy. Biden's our boy. He's already going to be it for sure. He's the only one who can beat Trump. That was the narrative they had here. Biden is the only one who can beat Trump.
Right.
And Biden and his cockiness here decided to not do a second election. So we were robbed of even proving that. If you're so confident that Biden can win, then let the motherfucker run and let him shit on everyone else. Right.
Right.
There would be, that's it. There could have been, Governor of California, Gavin Newsom. There could have been, there's like a million what ifs now over like who could have been contesting and call out Biden for the bullshit. But again, just the DNC unironically pulling a Republican playbook here and just like rigging the shit all the fucking way through. And we got robbed. That's why the enthusiasm was not there. And this is also insane because Biden has been unpopular the whole term, floating at 35% popularity rate here.
Right.
Whether it's for accurate or inaccurate reasons doesn't matter because the perception is what is going to drive the turnout and the base with enthusiasm. So Biden is not popular. That's going to come bite you in the ass. I don't care what his policies are here. If the perception is the economy's bad, then that's a messaging problem that the Democrats need to figure out entirely here. Yeah. And but it's just the whole thing's a boiling pot under pressure, and it exploded at this point with the election.
Sure. I'm going to point out something, by the way. Not only was there not a primary for Kamala Harris, which there should have been, like Biden didn't do it either, even in this election. Remember, right. There's supposed to be that part where the incumbent has debates with other people in order to determine whether or not that person can run again. That happened with Hillary Clinton. It happened with when Obama had to debate against Hillary Clinton, when he had to run against Kerry. Right. So the Republicans typically run unopposed. Democrats do not. Democrats have always had opposition when they're doing a bid for re-election. Biden decided, I'm not doing debates. Nah, it's just me. He already just concluded it was just going to be him, which was incredibly undemocratic, especially when you have those type of numbers. And then this guy, who already everyone clearly disliked, then drops out for his even more disliked vice president. It screams arrogance. It screams a lack of consideration for the people. To me, Democrats were more undemocratic in this scenario than the Republicans were, which is crazy to say.
Correct.
I'm gonna let you get the last words here because then we got to go to topic 2, unless you don't have anything. But you can close this topic out.
All right, I'm gonna start talking fast because you've been yapping. All right, specific arguments for the results here. Not because of racism or sexism, mostly explicitly, yet bigger problems years in the making here. The vote wasn't an anti-incumbent vote. Everyone attributed the current economy to Biden and took that out on Harris by indifference and a lack of enthusiasm to vote. Again, this is reinforced by the 15 million less votes that Democrats got this election versus the last election. working class Latinos took it as Trump is the economy guy and flipped to him in support out of desperation. Young men have been influenced by podcasting and the adjacent right-wing apparatus media and voted Trump accordingly. This is, again, 50% of 18 and 30-year-old males voting for Trump, which is a massive spike compared to 2020 here. People who were voting for Harris were voting for harm reduction, but the problem with voting with harm reduction rather than policy or like vibes enthusiasm is that it does not drive voter turnout. Harm reduction is not a compelling reason to get people to the poll. And it shows here because it's effective and prevalent on the youth. The youth turnout this election was terrible compared to 2020. And it's because, again, you voting harm reduction is not a very effective recruiter for action and enthusiasm. The DNC attempted to sway Republican approval by appeasing them, campaigning with them, and hoping to net moderates and undecided here. And this was done at the explicit expense of the potential enthusiastic base that they actively ran away from. Emphasize here again, when you saw Kamala prodding around with Liz Cheney, who is a notoriously unpopular Republican in the first place here, that doesn't mean shit for the undecided and the moderates here. When you like decline Joe Rogan podcast appearance, you're not going to where the youth are to engage with them. You come off as inaccessible and elitist whenever that happens here. Joe Rogan had on Trump, Elon, and JD Vance within 2 weeks of election day. Kamala was nowhere to be seen here when she was offered out. That's just what is your media strategy here? It's non-existent here. The DNC attempted to sway Republican approval by appeasing them. Democrats abandoned their base to appease Republican approval. I'm sorry here. Undermined Bernie in 2016, actively sabotaged Bernie's campaign in 2019, and then abandoned Bernie entirely in 2024 by not even having a primary where Bernie can even endorse anyone or sway his audience. And consider here how Bernie endorsed Biden only when Biden promised some deliverables upon Bernie's behalf in 2020. Bernie endorsed Biden only when Biden agreed to deliver something. I forgot what it was here, whatever it was, right? That wasn't even a leverage tactic to be exercised here because it was so ridiculously authoritarian and anti-democratic here in 2024's primary. Bernie, the most popular politician outside of Trump, most donations across broad demographics 2019 year. So I have an election map. You want to go faster? I had so many fucking things here for this year. There is a
Listen, I hear you, but we gotta wrap it because we only have we have two more topics, so we gotta go. So
right,
you
gotta
give your closers.
I'm doing it. Here's my 2019 map of Sanders support here economically, right? Look at this map. This is a map of donations to Bernie Sanders in 2019 by geographic region right now. Imagine knowing this data in 2019 and then just not only sabotaging his campaign, but then not even referencing him in any capacity for your election in 2024. Look at how pathetic Biden's donations were until corporate media consolidated into the neoliberal elite. It's garbage. Biden was distant 5th place in this primary. Bernie was shitting on everyone because his message was a populist one that was reaching everyone, including the Latinos who totally abandoned Biden in 2024. I have more here, but yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. You want to move on? We move on then. But I had more. I'm gonna throw the smoke in the chat and I'll move on from there. Move on.
Okay, I appreciate it. It's just it's as I knew would happen, and when we had our previous conversation, I was explaining to you that it's going to be frustrating when the clock is there because what that means
I'm gonna start talking. I'm gonna start talking over you then at that point. All right, I got you. Cool.
No, I mean I listen. We're gonna run the time. We're gonna run the time. I feel like I wasn't doing the majority of talking on that topic, but we'll see. We're gonna run a calculator on that one.
Right, yeah, go ahead.
But okay, for the next topic, you can open with it too. By the way, we were going to be talking about some of the conversations regarding, or rather, some of the results of individual state ballot initiatives, because some of those are particularly surprising. And I think the three that we wanted to talk about were Florida, California, and Missouri. And I think there were surprises in all three of those. So do you want to open up with either one? I'm a California resident. I didn't include that in my open, but I've lived in California my entire life, except for 1 year where I lived in Texas and 1 year where I lived in Vegas. And so obviously California, I'm going to be a little bit more intimately familiar with, but I figured you can have the other two if you would like.
Okay. All right. Let me prepare my stuff here real quick. Okay. So yeah, if you want to start, if you want to start first here, I'll start with the one I find the most interesting actually here. So let's go into or the one that maybe the least covered here. Obviously, Florida and California are going to be the big ones, but I'll let you hop on those if you want to. I want to talk about Alaska and Missouri. Let's start with Alaska first here.
Okay.
Alaska is conventionally right-leaning, very Republican heavy here. What's important to note here, though, is that if the audience here is familiar with what we know as ranked choice voting, do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, so the thing about ranked choice voting here is that there was such a massive here we go. There was such a massive skepticism over Stop the Steal back in 2020, right? You may recall that Alaska actually had a vote, a direct ballot initiative to add in ranked choice voting to make the votes more secure. But it was a very Republican state doing this in advocacy of legitimizing their elections, right? And so they were duped into adopting a very progressive thing.
Yeah.
So just to elaborate for chat here, ranked choice voting right now, when you go to the ballots and polls and you vote for Trump, you are voting only for Trump. So if for any reason Trump drops out of the race, like RFK did, by the way, all the RFK votes went to nothing. In this case here, ranked choice voting, you would rank your preferred candidates in order, and then it would be processed from there here. So you would say RFK 1, Trump 2, Biden 3. And that way the whole spoiler tactic won't mean anything because people can just drop out and not really give a shit. But due to ranked choice voting, what happened was a shoe-in here. Mary Peltola won and became a U.S. House Representative. This is the first Native Alaskan to actually be able to take a House Congress election there. She's been running completely on environment preservation. She's super awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and drop. Sorry, I'm trying to go fast because I want to make sure we're not running over time now. So I'm just gonna start talking really fast here. She's really based. Look into her. She's awesome here. But she won as a direct initiative. She's the first Democrat to get a House representative seat in Alaska, I think, in decades. She's also the first Native Alaskan to also be a House rep as well. I did know that wasn't the thing until that happened here. And she's been really based. And it's all because of ranked choice voting. Because again, they just vote down the line so hardcore now in Alaska, despite them being a pretty socialist economy there, with the natives being paid dividends for the oil drilled off the land. But again, more on that in another episode. We get a chance here. Actually, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, ranked choice voting is in Alaska, and we're already seeing here how when you separate the labels of partisan parties from the policy substance, people vote for it overwhelmingly here. So she won because of ranked choice voting, and her being a Democrat, winning in a very red state here was very eye-opening to the positivity of ranked choice voting. Now, all that to say here, sadly, what happened is that there is a ballot measure to actually remove ranked choice voting in Alaska, and sadly, it won. So it won 50.8%, down from 49 points. So it's very divided here. Only a 5,000 vote difference. But that direct state ballot initiative here led to the removal of ranked choice voting when it was just added 4 years ago. So there's that going on, and there's the race going on, which is currently I'm sorry, I have to go really fast here, but I have it here somewhere. She is currently in second place right now on the general election for the House rep. She's currently down about 5,000 votes, so I'm hoping it works out for her there. So that's a bit of some interesting stuff going on in Alaska. The other one here with Missouri that's really interesting here is that Missouri has been on their direct ballot initiatives here. They've been very progressive, I would say. They're making a statewide right to abortion. They voted on that. You can see their Amendment 3 on the screen right here. They increased their minimum wage. That again, also another one that happened all the way through. Unfortunately, they also voted for a ranked choice voting, but it was kind of worded in a way that people didn't really know what they were voting for, because it was tethered to something involving
non-citizen voting.
It was worded in a way with non-citizens. I feel like if you're a normie and you saw that, you're probably were like, oh, I don't want that to happen or whatever here. So unfortunately, ranked choice voting did not happen there. But regardless, though, Missouri definitely hit them with some pretty progressive policy choices, I'd say here. But then they also voted Trump. So it's very clear to me here. This is the part I would say here. Missouri is a very good example of the fact that sexism and misogyny is not why Kamala lost. It goes back here that the messaging, Trump's message was, I'm gonna fix, even though it was based in bullshit, I'm gonna fix the economy, et cetera, et cetera. They voted Trump because they are desperate for economic relief. It's the primary concerns, the number one topic. And one of these people here has a very clear, concise message. The one is lying their ass off, obviously here, but that didn't matter. It's vibes. It's not about they're not the American audience now. We're learning from this election, in my opinion here. They're very vibes based and they're very surface level. You really got to meet them where they are here. You got to be on the Hawk Tua podcast. You got to be on Joe Rogan. You got to be where they're at. You can't be sitting here doing this like decorum Democrat fancy shit where you're just on corporate media and you're not in the podcast new information landscape. Trump is all on that shit. Democrats are nowhere fucking near it.
Sure.
So those are my two. I want to hop on there. I'm going to let you spit here what you got.
Okay. Now listen, Alaska wasn't on that list that you sent me, so I wasn't prepared for that. I'm glad you cooked that because I had no information. But I did look up Missouri and Florida. Obviously, I'm going to open up with California, my home state. And California, listen. This is part of the reason why I always say that, like, all of the nonsense about, these states are progressive and, Democrats are really the hope and so on and so forth. I've never been able to buy into that. I'm in California. And California is supposedly like this, the most progressive state in our country. It's one of, actually, because there actually is a state that's more progressive. Now, point being, on California's state initiatives, one of them was about rent control. And so people voted against that. California has had rent control since the Tenant Protection Act of 2019. So basically what that did was they created a maximum that the rent can go up per year, I want to say. And it could go up a total of 10%, a maximum of 10%. But the rate, it was a rent cap of 5% plus the local inflation rate. It also and that was over a 12-month period, so that you couldn't do like, I'll just do 7% now at the beginning of the year, 7% in the middle of the year, 7%. So now we've gotten past it. It was like, no, cumulative over a 12-month period, you could only go up that total of 10%. And then of course that came also with eviction protection and relocation protection, relocation fees if you evicted a tenant, even if it was like without, even if for like a no fault eviction. Or no fault eviction. So with that being said, they voted against it. What the measure did was it was supposed to allow specifically like local places to enact their own rent control, which I guess would somewhat be an expansion beyond what the state level rent control policies already exist. People voted against that. And I guess rent control has its problems, I'm pretty sure, but ultimately it is a very progressive policy that California voted against. Now, I understand some progressive people are against it because there are some problems that do come with rent control, but overall I do think it's a very progressive idea and I think it's overall more beneficial. Now, the one that blows my mind was, I believe it was called Prop 6. And Prop 6, I'm terrible with numbers. I mean, I'm terrible with like the name, so I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure exactly, but I believe it was Prop 6 was one.
Involuntary servitude as punishment for a crime.
Yeah, that one blows my freaking mind.
AKA prison slave labor, right?
Right.
Is that right? Okay.
California is one of very few states that actually still allows for forced labor in prison. This is the progressive state, mind you. They allow for forced labor in prison, aka servitude, where people are making sometimes 16 cents an hour, as low as 16 cents an hour. Now, the thing is, there are rehabilitation programs within prison in order to reduce recidivism. And when you have those rehabilitation programs, that you'll find that very frequently that the forced labor coincides with the rehabilitation programs, the optional rehabilitation programs. So then because you have assigned labor, you cannot actually enroll in the rehabilitation program. So you're doing this work for them as opposed to actually gaining skills, learning coping skills, learning different talents and things like that in order to reduce recidivism. California voted against that. There was another bill that had been introduced in 2022 that was pretty similar, but then they started saying, well, if we just paid minimum wage to all the prisoners, it would cost California taxpayers a total of about $1.5 billion annually. Note, this is the most populous state in the union. So $1.5 billion isn't as crazy as you think it is when you think you're dividing it amongst 35 million people. It stops being nearly as much. And of course, we pay even more for recidivism because all of these people end up coming back into prison. It has like a gross somewhere near 60% recidivism rate. California, the most progressive state, the bluest state in the union, went ahead and voted against that. So I think that indicates to me like that clearly when it comes to prison reform, we still haven't done enough. California outlawed for-profit prisons, and they did some other prison initiatives, such as making this not in this election, in the last election cycle, they ended up passing some initiatives that made it to where you can't charge inmates for in-state calls to their family. I think that was kind of good. It was obviously a good thing. But then at the same time when they did that, then they expanded all of the prisons and started including iPads for prisoners. So that way prisoners can then start making phone calls using their web. But of course, that costs money. So now the second they say, hey, all phone calls are free, we're now going to charge you for text messages and we're going to charge you for tablet usage, for web usage. So that way we can still get the money. And of course, now phone calls are kind of archaic. It's like, I'd rather be texting and doing video calls, and now we charge you for that. So they've just moved and obviously expanded progression the second they did this thing. Now, they just changed the medium of communication, of course, so it's not particularly progressive. I see them, it's like a game of like literally just what do they call it? It's a carrot on a stick. And I think that was gross. And then you can go ahead and go on Florida.
All right, so then with Florida, there were a couple of things here that kind of happened. So Florida has a unique situation where their direct ballot initiatives as a like state constitutional thing that has to hit a 60% threshold to actually pass.
Supermajority. Yep.
Yeah, not 50 or 51, it's 60. That's really important here because yet again, recreational statewide legal weed was offered, and once again, it did not happen. In this case here, if we go over to it's Amendment 3. In this case here, the end result was 55.9%.
Right.
It did not reach 60. It needed here to have it happen. And what's crazy here is that this time around, it was clean. Legalizing marijuana for adults 21 or older and allowing individuals to possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana. The previous time this was offered, if I recall correctly,
it was packaged.
It was packaged with some bullshit. Yeah, it was like what was it? It was like, do you want to ban offshore drilling and legalize weed or something like that? It was like it was like you had to vote for pro environment or pro weed or whatever. It was super garbage, and they knew what they were doing. So that didn't meet the threshold here, unfortunately. There was what was the other one here?
What about Amendment 1?
Change school board elections from nonpartisan to partisan beginning 2026. What does that mean?
Bro, so they wanted it to be that when you wanted to go for a school board election, that you have to like put your party, like assign your party like in that run. So in other words, you'd be saying, I'm a Republican. I'm running as a Republican for the school board, as opposed to just like, I'm just running for the school board, which shouldn't necessarily be politicized. The arguments against it were, if you do this, then now you're going to be like politicizing our education. You're going to make our education partisan, which it should not be. Education should be education. Of course, we know it's partisan as it is now, but it should not be. So obviously that also failed, but 55% of people supported it. And I understand why, because Republicans feel like, well, if you're a Democrat running for this school board, I want to know you're a Democrat so that way I can vote against it so that they can maintain the ignorance within their state. Correct. So it sounds crazy, even the fact that this would even be an idea. It sounds even crazier that 55% of people supported it. It also sounds particularly crazy that you guys need a super majority in order to pass it. So you still didn't even get what you want, even though 55% of you guys voted for this thing that shouldn't have been voted on in the first place. It's crazy.
Insane. Crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I totally agree here. That is a fucking nut job ass thing there.
Florida, man.
Florida is nuts. And if we can here, the other thing you want to talk about here is like it's worth getting to is the demographics, right? We got to talk about how the Latino vote is just like, because if I recall, like it's Miami was red, right? Like, I don't know if it's like the Cubans or the Puerto Ricans or like whatever's going on there, but man,
Cubans. They're
it's got
overwhelmingly Republican.
what is
There's a historical reason for that, though.
do they do right? It's like anti-communism. Is
Well,
that
it's
correct?
not just that. When it came to towards Cuba, and like they were fleeing because of like some of the tyranny Fidel Castro, right?
Right.
So in that case, Florida was the place that they all like kind of relocated to, and at that time, Republicans were the ones that were actually pushing to allow them because of their like anti-communism, anti-Marxism, et cetera, et cetera. Republicans were actually in favor of letting so many Cubans actually come to the state, and so as a result of that, all those people who came and actually escaped Cuba, they're like pretty much irrevocably Republican, and so then they've passed that down to their progeny, which is why Cubans in particular are particularly, Republican because of that history.
Okay. I was under the idea that I'm ignorant here. I'm just kind of outside looking in here. That it was that they thought because they're an immigrant that made it that they're in on the white privilege and the white passing here. Like they're acting in alignment with the whites because they made it.
I mean,
They're able to ethnically shed their identity and be like in on the whites, even though it's clearly not what Trump's are going to do, regardless here.
yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's also the other element. Like you're
Okay,
100, but
okay,
you
okay.
spitting facts. Like you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like within most Latino communities, there's still a obvious insane colorism, right? And so you'll find that like within Dominicans, within Cubans, within Puerto Ricans, within Mexicans, all of them have like a caste system that's based on color, and like the lighter skinned Cubans look down on the darker skinned Cubans, the lighter skinned Dominicans, the same way, and with the Puerto Ricans and even Mexicans. So within that, they also have that caste system. They also very much identify as white, the lighter skinned ones.
Mhm.
Even some of the darker skinned ones still identify like literally darker skinned than me will still put white on some of their on some of their census
Oh
reports.
yeah,
It's
it's crazy.
crazy. So you're right in the sense that they do want to assimilate to whiteness because that is a way of like achieving progress in this country, and I think a lot of them are aware of it. It's a way of achieving progress in their own country, and the fact that they have the option, they're willing to do that. So I think it is a combination of both of those things, to be honest. So I think you bring up a perfectly valid point.
Okay. And then the last thing about that too is that now I'm a bit puzzled here because I want to talk about like for a second here, right? The Puerto Ricans particularly in Pennsylvania, right? With the Madison Square Garden rally that happened, right? With the
Yeah.
floating pile of garbage, Puerto Rico, right? With the comedian. Okay, so obviously, is that something only a chronically online person is consuming here? Do normies even know about the Madison Square Garden thing here? Apparently, went pretty viral and a lot. It broke out of like the online sphere and went to Normieville with like it penetrating the Facebook circles. So
Mm.
people did hear about the Puerto Rican garbage comment. MAGA doesn't care because they don't fucking care. It's whatever. But at the same time here, I'm like, did Puerto Ricans, given that Pennsylvania went to Trump, I don't know the exact demos there, but like I'm wondering, do Puerto Ricans not have the same like Cuban identity thing going on where they do like an ethnic cleansing and they don't see themselves as Puerto Rican in this like you thought
Man.
a bit more consequential, but maybe I'm just I'm overreading in online space where I know that I saw the Madison Square Garden thing and they just didn't care.
You know
I don't
what,
know.
man? I wish
I
I
don't.
had the data specifically on Puerto Ricans
Yeah,
because I mean that would be crazy. That was absolutely atrocious, and
it
that
was
comedian is
it was
also
so
particularly
close to the election
racist.
too.
Yeah, it
It wasn't like a
was.
thing that happened like in September and now we're in November. Like that was like the like 10 days before.
Right.
That was they let the freak flag fly all the way through. I mean, it was
100%.
abhorrent.
Yeah.
4 hours of straight racist, not even capping Nazi rhetoric all the way
Yeah.
through here.
It was very much a Nazi
Uh,
style rally. I
it
would
was it
100%
was
agree with that.
horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I know. I don't think. I think Republican. I mean, I think Puerto Ricans in general lean more Democrat than Republican. I could be wrong. Someone please fact check me on that. I think that's the case, but I don't know how much that statement impacted them. They should have been as true blue as black folks were. I don't know if there's any where to find the data where they would break down specific Hispanic or Latino
Well, there is
demographics.
one thing I want to say about that though. I have heard there's a prevalent problem when it comes to consuming the online media, and that Spanish-speaking communities, like I heard the leftism is like non-existent. There's just like not even there is not much like Spanish-speaking progressive or leftism messages out there at all.
Oh, sure.
Like there's not even competition.
Well, yeah,
No,
that's
like Well, like in English speaking comparatively here, right? We're just like there exists leftism, but it's just neutered compared to all of, like the billionaire Koch brother, it's Bragger you competition out there, right? They've engulfed it with like the podcast and everything else here. But in Spanish speaking, the left thing doesn't even exist. Like it's
Right.
like it's just misinformation, especially on Facebook. I hear it's just misinformation and or Republican shit, and that's it.
Well, just to be clear, Hispanic people in general are actually even more conservative than black people are. Because black people actually are particularly socially conservative, without a doubt. The thing is that black progressivism is pretty much rooted in the civil rights movement that we actually spearheaded, in the 60s, right? And then there was actually another one in the 80s, in the 1880s, right? So there's been a continuous progressive civil rights movement for black people because of the mixture of demographics, right, racially within this country, which has helped us or caused us to align with some sort of progressivism. But when you're, just a homogenous group of people and you don't have really a movement rooted within like some sort of racial caste system, then as a result of that, you don't develop those progressive trends. And so, yeah, Hispanic people are particularly, mind you, while I am saying they are particularly conservative, they do have in Mexico a woman president. So they did that the first one, I believe, was like 4 years ago. That's when they elected their Mexican president.
I thought did you just happen? I thought that was like super recent actually.
It could have been
But
2 years ago. I'm so terrible with time. I have ADHD, so I don't know. It could have been 10 years ago. I don't, I'm terrible with time. But I want to say it was fairly recent. Yeah, you're right. So maybe it was only 2 years ago.
no, it was like within a year. I want to say like it's been pretty recent.
Okay.
But we'll cover her another time. I mean, obviously,
Of course, of
I would love
course.
to dive deeper into her as well.
Yeah. So we had a third topic, and we kind of got to get
Yeah,
to it because it's
yeah.
time.
Let's do it then. Sure.
I'd like you to
Third
open up with that one
topic.
too.
So what is that topic, please? Give me a
The
title.
third topic is a discussion about where we go from here, what needs to happen. For example, at this point, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are incredibly devastated. I've seen like leftist meltdowns online,
Oh, for sure.
people
Yeah.
talking about doing unthinkables to themselves, and I get the sort of fear and all of that is happening there, and I have some takes on that. I've got some hot takes. It's gonna be kind of gross, but so yeah, that's the topic. What do we do here? How do we move now that we recognize we have a Trump presidency, we have a Republican Senate, and I believe that Republicans took the House as well.
That's not confirmed yet here. So they have the Senate, the House. The Democrats currently they need somewhere around 15 of the 25 seats up for grabs. I can, if you give me 1 second, I actually can pull up that exact thing for you. You can see for yourself. If we go over to, oh, wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to the tab for House. Okay. So if we go down here, you'll see, yeah. So right now, Democrats 199 seats, Republicans 211, and there's currently, oh, you showed me the quantity before here. There's something like 25 seats up for contention right now. That doesn't have the little thing here for me, but but yeah. If someone can pull up the other map for me here, yeah, this is like where we are right now. But notice that the gray is still like it's big enough that, in short, Democrats have to like hold and get majority of what's up for contention to hold the House.
As someone pointed
Uh,
out in your chat, they said that
yeah,
Democrats need 20 out of 27 seats, and the GOP needs only 8 out of 27 seats. So they're
yeah.
projected to win it as it is now.
Well,
And
it just
so
depends. I mean, I don't know how.
it can, sure. I mean, it just that's what the projection is, and so then to me, okay, so we don't have to conclude the House, right? We can just conclude the Senate and the White
Sure. Oh,
House,
we can go with that. I mean, you're right. What I'm bringing up is a very rosy scenario compared to like the practicality that the Republicans should just take the whole House too as well.
right?
Sure.
So, and the thing that I feel like Republican, I don't want to get into that because right now we're on a different topic. I'm sorry. So okay, so what do you think, Trihex? Where does your brain go? What's your kind of a response to all the people who are kind of doomers at this point now, and they're just like, oh, I got to leave the country. Some people are saying I want to not exist anymore. All sorts of reactive things. What would be your response to those kind of people?
Um, this is kind of like, obviously, so because we're getting Trump term 2 now, which is Trump not running for re-election, and it's Trump now with the backing of the Heritage Foundation. So, you have all the heritage freaks who are going to be able to do their religious fundamentalism, their just everything, right? They're clearly going to do a giant hatchet to freedoms and rights, completely unironically, in a very unpatriotic manner. And they're going to be able to do that with a rogue Supreme Court that's going to be able to just circumvent everything they can around Congress approval. And also, they already gave Trump, effectively the blessing of the power that rivals that of a king, with not being with being immune to prosecution both on and off duty as president, which is insane. So yeah, it's already where we are now. The blunder that with Harris's campaign fucking up and losing definitively here, we're now at the worst case scenario. This is going to be fundamentally, decades of damage done here. Supreme Court conservative majority will be cemented unless you expand the courts. Trump's going to be able to just take a hatchet to all the checks and balances in the federal districts of functioning government. Yada yada yada. All with very likely having a Republican-controlled Senate, House, and executive branch. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I say I'm almost saying that not to doom here, but because I want to kind of paint the picture here that we are at the worst case scenario. And what that means to me is that we have nothing to lose. This is the time now. If you subscribe to accelerationist theory that things have to get terrible before they actually inspire real change, then we're at that point now. There is nothing left there's no resource to hoard for a last minute thing. We are in Hail Mary mode. You are against the cliff. So now is time for the revolution and the radicalization. There's no more decorum. There's no more let's take what we have existing now with the Democrats. No, all that ship sailed because it's been 3 elections of garbage that led to where we are right now. The failure we're in did not happen overnight. And with that here, unapologetic, abhorrent failure entirely. Trump won the popular vote, a second term, a corrupt SCOTUS, a SCOTUS that will become conservative majority until 2050 unless courts are expanded. Federal institutions entirely gutted to implement a singular point of rule that will cripple the economy. It will take decades to fix, and we can't even entertain the suffering to come for everyone, but especially blacks, gays, trans, and minorities. All of that here to say, what do? You have to we need to vet in a way that you've never had before. Anyone who is not admitting the reality where we are, fuck them, get them out of here, discount here. They're not serious. All the way through here. If you're not talking revolution, you are not serious. Because the battle went from being a 50-50 to now being a 99-1. There's you have a Supreme Court stacked against you. You have corporations with infinite money ready to cripple you. You have your rights being infringed upon and a retraction from your constitutional liberty here. This is really fucking bad, and you have to acknowledge here it's going to be bad. We need to plan deliberately. You got to think about how the idiots who voted Trump in, how they're going to perceive how things currently are by 2026, and be ready to spoon feed them the answer that gives us what we need. We got to be playing 3D chess, not just chess, and certainly not checkers here. You got to know how the idiots are going to perceive things in 2026 and 2028 and get them on our side all the way through here. We got to out-manipulate the drones.
For sure.
So you ask what to do. There are 2 options here. There's the conventional and the unconventional. I can comment on both, but I want to let you go first before I dominate the airwaves more.
Okay. No, I don't think you're dominating. I think you're doing a great job. I want to say really quickly, so regarding those reactions, I think a lot of those reactions are rooted in privilege and fragility. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I think it's the truth. I believe that black people in this country have endured some of the most heinous and disgusting treatment, more so than any other demographic in existence in this country. So when we've had to endure some of the most harsh treatment when it comes to slavery, the Reconstruction era, and all the Jim Crow laws and all of the black codes, the continued forced servitude, mass imprisonment, the crack epidemic, which had a lot to do with our government, right? Everything that we've completely continued to endure all of this freaking time, to me, we've always had this recognition that we had a fight on our hands. I feel like now these other groups, we always kind of collectivize when it comes to oppressed groups, but the targeted specific oppression, specifically against black people, has been so normalized that when I'm seeing other people that are completely losing their minds because Donald Trump becomes president, I wish I could kind of get them to understand the framework that when they're talking to someone like me, where it's wait a minute, It didn't matter who became president because you got to remember who Biden is and what Biden did to us. That was the blue president, right? So when we see what's actually happening with Donald Trump, yes, do I think he's alarming? Yes. Do I think he's dangerous? Sure. But do I have the same resolve that I've always had? For sure. Because I've known for sure that we were in an uphill battle as black people within this country. So MAGA doesn't constitute some grand threat that to me like completely shakes the foundation of who I am, because that foundation has always been there. I've always had that sort of cynicism, recognizing the racist foundation that created this country. We are a settler colony founded on racism and slavery. So for me, with that knowledge, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. And it's like, I mean, yeah, it's bad for sure. And I think they're going to do some damage. But I think black people are already fighting an uphill battle. We've always been resilient. So with me, what I do is, because of the fact that I've always had this doomer cynicism, for me, my faith, my community, my support groups, my family, my friends, that's where my focus is. I've always had that to rely on, and I'm relying on it even more heavily now. I pray regularly, I read my Bible regularly, I collectivize within my family, and I think that's what's actually helped my family to achieve. When we came from, I mean, some of the most abject poverty, my childhood was rooted in some of the most insane, abject poverty, right? And we still were able to rise above that using our faith and our grit to become higher earning people, educated people, to ascend above the projections that we were pretty much destined for, given, our state at that time. So I think it's more of that. I don't like the idea of, the pull yourself up by your bootstraps conversation, because I think that's obviously disgusting, but that's what we had to do as individuals. And so I feel like that's where my brain still is now. I, as an individual, my individual decisions, my individual choices are how I continue to succeed, or how I continue to push forward as much as I possibly can. Now, that doesn't deny the oppressive forces that are collective, that are trying to suppress the collective, which means that I'm now going to try my best to support and help my fellow man, any other person that I know that's struggling, and collectivize when it comes towards, where I spend my money, who I educate, what I use my platform for. That's what I want to do. The same thing that you were saying about, overcoming or outthinking or outspeaking the drones. I think that's what we have to do. I use my platform to educate. I use my platform to elevate. I use my platform to inform. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep absolute insane track of what Donald Trump is doing, everything. And we just have to make sure that it's abundantly clear in a very concise and clear way, so as to educate people for the future, so that no matter what, at least they'll be informed enough to know when they're being duped by the Republican Party, because they are abjectly racist and abjectly regressive. And I think it's problematic. Organization is key.
I got more.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I don't think that's enough. So let me spit then. Though what you said was beautiful, right? So first, the things that need to happen, and then my conventional way, and then the unconventional way. Things need to happen. You need to mobilize a message that attracts the youth. Right now, the progressive apparatus. First off, the progressive apparatus is the only way you're going to be able to even like get a publicly palatable message. In the end, here, the elegant truth is that black advocacy is going to fall on deaf ears. Let's be real. Reparations for African Americans and African descendants of or American descendants of slavery. It is an unpopular topic. It's unpopular, and white people think that it's a hand me out rooted in the negative stigmas of Reagan's welfare queen stigma bullshit from the 80s. So to even get like non-blacks to see blacks for the continually oppressed, racially subjugated individuals that we are is already an uphill battle. You're already losing the narrative because it's already like built in like decades of propaganda we have to like fight against here. Are we welfare queens? Are we crying? Obama got elected. Are we already post-racism, right? Like that's the kind of shit you got to deal with normies. Look at who they elected. They elected Trump, thinking that a Trump economy is going to like fix the problems right now, when he's like a proven everything, right? So you got to mobilize a message that attracts the youth. You got to have a media apparatus for left leaning politics entirely. Right now, that is non-existent. You look at the top performing podcasts altogether right now. It's Tucker Carlson. It's Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was a Bernie guy 5 years ago. Joe Rogan let Trump go on for 3 hours with no fact checking. It was just a 3 hour glaze fest. You know, deep throating harder than Trump did that microphone at the rally before the election. Um, the DNC needs to be restructured entirely from proven engagement that engages the fan base and gets them going up here. They got to have a message here where they're explaining here explicitly that billionaires are why your working class life sucks ass, and not whatever the right pivots the blame to with immigrants or blacks or whatever the fuck they've been saying lately here. You need tangible policies that are immediately understandable to normies right away. You can't do this fucking means tested bullshit where like if you make over 100 grand a year, you're not qualified for student debt relief. It needs to be like an undeniably clickbait, non-means tested, unapologetic, way more pro worker, pro average American shit that Republicans can't spin it. You say free college, I'm there. You say higher minimum wage, I'm there. You say student debt relief, no conditions, no means testing, Nancy Pelosi, I'm there. You got to do that shit. So you need those things to happen unapologetic the whole way through here. It's not just education because they have to be willing to listen. You have to infiltrate the media spaces where people are. They are these 18 to 30-year-olds. That's the secret sauce there. You get the youth that turn out here. That makes a massive game changer. So with that, the conventional route to make this happen here, the conventional route is obviously God help me here. We take back the House and the Senate in 2026. With I guess Democrats here, I don't know, whatever the fuck here, right? Whatever happens here, and you got to get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act to happen here. Those two, and this is a lot to say right there. I know this is clearly like right now it looks really dire here, but if those two things were to happen, it would change everything. Those two alone would give automatic voter registration and a consistent early voting window for every state nationwide. Right now, Mississippi and Alabama don't even have early voting. You can only go vote on election day, which guarantees, I promise you, in poor and black districts, one location to guarantee a 5-hour wait time. That way you don't go vote. That is the whole fucking point. So you get automatic voter registration. You get guaranteed early voting across all state lines, period. You get, there's another, I'm forgetting over here. I'm sorry, it's a lot of information right now. There's like another like really important thing that the Freedom to Vote Right Act does that's going to really help boost up voter turnout and then some, which is what you need here. You need to make voting it makes voting day a federal holiday. It makes it a national holiday. Like voting day being on a fucking the first Tuesday in November is the most cringe dumb shit in the world. The fact that we are a nation that thrives under democracy being patriotic, but then like voting itself is a chronic elective as an afterthought because you're too busy grinding away at Walmart to even have the chance to even go vote. Holy fucking shit. So gaining support for the black cause won't be able to happen in isolation. Malcolm X tried, and when others did, whites destroyed it regardless and got away with it here. We must elevate others out of their oppression in order for our onslaught to be ceased. We have to accept that others are going to go through the black experience and welcome them in, but only when vetted. Shit is not like Occupy Wall Street in the previous decade, or like 2016, or like 2020, or even 2022 anymore. Women alone aren't going to save us, and shit is fucked now, and we need to eviscerate all misinformation and all doubters all the way through here. Anyone who's in denial of how bad things are right now and don't know we have to go like 15 out of 10, not just 10 out of 10, they're delusional. They don't understand what we're about to go through here. So that's the conventional route, okay? The unconventional route here, radicalization to dismantle the DNC from the top down for real. You have to have collateral like climate change. We're already fucked there. That's already like fucking done. We can't even, no one's even talking about the 2030 greenhouse gas effects where we're going to have like irreparable 8-degree Fahrenheit temperature change going forward. Now it's going to cause irritable crops and like an uninhabitable Middle East here and mass migration because of literally environment instability and what's going to do for like like there's so many fuck things that are already fucked now because you're going to have drill baby drill the dictator and Cheeto in chief here fuck everything beyond repair. We can't even talk about that anymore, right? Simply put here, the reality is here, y'all, I'm starting to say here, whites are simply too racist. They're uninformed, and it's ingrained within the system to vote for an uninformed manner against their own well-being here. Herschel Walker versus Raphael Warnock for the Senate runoff here proved that to me here. They had a literal pastor who was appeasing their Christian nationality basis, and they still voted for a sexual abusing, whatever the fuck Herschel Walker concussion dumbass that he is here, and they still barely lost. The guy was comically unqualified. Sound like he zero IQ idiocracy here. And white people in Georgia still overwhelmingly were going team partisan, team MAGA all the way through here. Even though the optics clearly you would go for Raphael Warnock. God bless Stacey Abrams for the work she did there, but that revealed to me that honestly, Fanatic, I'm gonna be real here. We can't trust them, bro. The white folks, they're just too racist. You can't trust them. That's why when it comes to the end here, black people, allyship, I don't know. When it gets down to when it gets heavy here, are they going to be there for us? I don't know. We have to vet really, really hard here when we're talking about the revolution and the radicalization. Getting the youth involved, the black youth particularly here, Black Panther style, and recognizing that those with nothing to lose, like we already are right now here, are the most capable of being radicalized for influencing change. The people who are ready to go to the front lines here, think back to like the '92 police LA riots. Think back to like, why the Black Panthers got de-radicalized, or why they got, like, I'd argue, like, defanged metaphorically here. And you know why that was and what happened there. And with that, my last point here about this is there is hope. If you want to know, like, what you ask what we should do, I have the message of hope here. Everyone's on that doomer shit right now. I will give you hope right now. Here is hope rooted in substance. You ready?
Okay.
The United Auto Workers Union, when they renegotiate their strikes, right? Remember when these are the people who are like in the manufacturing plants in Detroit and everything else here. When they renegotiated their contracts, they deliberately did a short contract for it to expire in 2028 on purpose. It expires in May of 2028. They did that on purpose for their contracts to coincide with other labored unions. They're hoping to do a May Day giga.
Trihex, you're lagging.
Very
Wait.
20 front we can potentially entertain a general strike. Everyone, okay. Non-union, all together in solidarity. Shut this motherfucker down, and we demand everything change. This sounds insane, but this is how revolutions are done. You gotta hit them. The only thing we have right now is the mass of the people. Before automation obliterates everything anyway, it's gotta happen this time. And unlike when the United Auto Workers Union guy planned it back in 2022, bless his heart. I don't have his name right now, forgive me here, but he's very, very based. Unlike then, now we're at the point where there's nothing left to lose. There is the only thing we have is leverage against oligarchs like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all the other ones here who have infinite money and are able to use Citizens United to just dump all that money. AIPAC, the Israeli fund, was able to literally destroy Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush. They literally bought those elections and put in Israel-approved drones to do their bidding. We're already there. We're already at the worst case scenario. We have nothing to lose right now. People will call us a joke, but this is what we got.
Okay.
You get truck drivers and teachers to like hit this strike, the country comes to a halt. On God.
All right, I'm just going to address a few of the things you said. I think this is where most of our disagreement actually is, which is okay. We're not going to go ahead and iron out all of our disagreement. This is just not the time to be able to do that. What's happening here? Oh, no. Okay, good. I'm looking at the other one. All right, good. We're not going to have time to do that. I'm just going to address one or two of them. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Specifically, when you mentioned that we need like billionaires and the Democrats to kind of like explain that I'm sorry, you said when the DNC have to explain that the billionaires are why the right sucks. I want you to understand that the vast majority of the really wealthy people, according to income, the wealthier people actually still voted more Democrat. And I loved it. There was I forget who it was at the DNC who said, oh gosh, Cuomo. It was Cuomo at the DNC who said, look around you up there at all those private rooms with all of those billionaires or those people, those rooms that you can't get into with the wealthiest people. They are the cancer of this party. They are the ones who are actually running things, because I think there are billionaires on both sides. And I think that the corporate interests and the crony capitalism that is actually running our country, it's not all Republican, it's not all Democrat. I think there is a class war there, and those wealthy people at the top are kind of gross. I think I would say lastly, I can't advocate for what I would say would be end up being abandoning the truth. I feel like I've successfully had conversations when I went into a Groyper space with with all of Nick Fuentes' followers. And I had a conversation with those people about reparations. And I got in there and they were talking all of this anti-Semitism. They were talking about all this racism, and they were calling me a black nationalist and all this nonsense. And we had a conversation about reparations, and every single one of those people said, hey, this makes all the sense. I can see that. I never heard the argument like that, but it makes sense.
You went to a call that contained Nick Fuentes?
No, not Nick Fuentes himself, but just all these Groypers on Kick. It was Brittany, there's whatever, all these Groypers, just like about 8 people. And I mean, they were like absolute nonsense. And I convinced them all that reparations was not only sensible, and they were like, with that argument, I don't really have an argument against it. I went on Jesse Lee Peterson and gave him a reparations argument, and he said, okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, we got to do something about that. Okay, I can agree. On reparations, okay, when you can take the most abject racists and you can convince those type of people about reparations, I don't think that it's unpalatable. I don't think it's that it's not palatable. I think you just need to be able to have the appropriate argument and appropriate conversations. So again, what I'm for the revolution.
I wish I could reply. Oh my god, I have okay. We need to open with what we disagree on
for sure
next time, because
that could be our next topic for sure.
God damn, bro.
Ouch.
I'm biting my tongue right now. Just go ahead and keep spitting.
Okay.
But dude, I disagree with a lot of what you're saying right now. But
I mean, I did too, right? But I bit my tongue, and I'm not going to go through the rest, But yeah, ultimately, what I would say is, yes, the ultimate thing is we do have to find inroads. I don't know that those inroads would be best by drawing completely stark lines in the sand. I think outreach, education, information, and we just need it in larger numbers. If you had, I do agree with you that allies are pretty gross. I think that black people have never had any allies. I think that progressives, for the most part, don't have allies, and I think that most of that is rooted in misinformation and just lack of education. So I would say that education and information, from my standpoint, is the only way to go forward. I think the truth will always set you free, and I think being able to have a strong enough platform that can actually reach people is, I think, how we move forward. I know it's unpleasant to hear to you because you disagree, and that is kind of what it is. We got about 3 minutes, so you want to give a quick 1.5 minute outro, and then I'll do the same.
I don't want to do an outro. I want to hit you with this one right here, bro. These people who voted for Trump, bro, it's all perception, recency bias, and vibes and misattribution to why they think the world is functioning here. Truth won't matter because they're not even in objective reality. They are in a reality distortion field, and it's only going to get worse with another 4 years of Trump. The truth, bro, you can't. They arrive at their conclusions without logic. We cannot you gotta be the better sheep herderer than trying to convince the sheep to obey the boundaries of the gate.
I hear you. For the sake of the show, please give an outro though. Still,
I'm Trihex. I love you all. Check episode 2 when you get a chance here, because maybe we'll fall up on this whole thing here. I don't know how to even give you. I don't know how to, bro. I'm sorry. I'm help me. You do an outro first, then I guess. I don't even know what to say.
All right, listen, we will definitely follow up with this conversation on that'll probably be the third topic when it comes to the second episode. I think that's great. And then we'll find other points of agreement. For the most part, we have similar brains, and as we expound, it'll make more sense. Listen, my name is Fanatiq. I am more than honored to have this conversation with Trihex. I've been a longtime fan of his, who eventually became a friend of his. And I do very much like the way his mind works. I like the energy. He's always been a very positive person in my mind. He's been there for me in a few times when I've needed to be able to sort of vent some of the things that I've experienced. He's been an emblem of sorts, and so I'm very appreciative of this opportunity to have this space with him. You can find me at twitch.tv/Mr. Fanatiq, where I'll be playing video games, doing music streams, doing political streams. My content, I upload it to YouTube under the channel Ask Fanatiq, AskFanatiq. You can find all of my music on pretty much every platform under the name Fanatiq, Fanatiq. And then I have I have a mixtape that's at Bandcamp, Mr. Fanatiq, and then SoundCloud, Mr. Fanatiq. It's not available on the other platform because it's a mixtape. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And if you ever disagree with me about anything, I'm always willing to have a conversation at a later date about something else. I'm more than willing to debate or even have just simple conversations that aren't necessarily debate fueled, as this was. On Discord, on another space, just let me know whenever you want that kind of conversation. You can always reach out to me on my Discord or my YouTube in the comments, and I respond to the vast majority of them. All right, and that's that.
All right. I love you too, bro. Obviously, I should kind of like calm down a little bit. I was in the moment. I had to go from like 10th gear down to like 2nd gear. Obviously,
it's
hard. Yeah, I'm very appreciative to be joined here with Fanatiq today. I think he's a intelligent, very brilliant, solution-oriented individual, which I respect greatly in that context. Complaining in perpetuity won't get us very far here if we're not like trying to figure out how to like apply ourselves in the next step for moving forward together, both as for the black people, black populace, but also for the entirety of like all humans as a humanitarian. So I love being challenged on finding those solutions and how we get there. And I think this podcast will be a really, really fun exercise in that. So, and I look forward to when it's like a less news heavy time when we can actually like show more of our broship and our friendship. So I look forward to that, bro. I look forward to actually talking more about like what we enjoy rather than being so preoccupied on what we need to do right now.
For sure.
So I look forward to that when we get more time.
Absolutely.
But for now, y'all, thank y'all for joining Butter Pecan. Do follow, and maybe the next episode will actually explain what the name means. Maybe if we get time. We'll see. Sure. I gotta hook them in there a little bit. I was gonna say
we might string that one live. Maybe we might. Maybe it might be episode 3. Who knows? Keep watching.
All right.
For sure. Listen, man, this is a freaking fantastic thing. I got to get to this Bible study. So, prayer meeting. So, yeah.
Understood.
Bro, it was freaking fantastic. I love this episode, and I'm going to catch you guys all later. Yeah, man, this was great. Hey, if you don't mind, can you give your stream and outro, like your kind of review of the podcast? I want to hear what your take is afterwards. You know what I mean? I'll rewatch your VOD.
I mean, homie, I got so many notes that I didn't even get to. I came so fucking comically over prepared. I had like I got you, bro. I had notes for days. I came with the heat.
For sure.
And I had to whew. Yeah, it was tough. That was tough.
Listen, go into all of that because I will review your stream, and I want to hear all the things that I was able to miss. And I know it's hard with time constraint, but
I get you.
That's just what we got to do.
No, you did your duty. You did your duty.